Hello everyone, my name is Daniel Starks. I'm the Communications Manager for the City of Greenville. And we know City Council meetings can sometimes be hard to follow, so this is your quick, straightforward recap of what happened at this week's meeting, just the highlights, and what they mean for you. Before the meeting even began, there was a reception honoring Councilmember Tim Cruz for his 2 terms of service on the City Council. Now, Mr. Cruz has spent years serving this community, and this reception just gave people an opportunity to thank him for that service before he officially stepped away from the council. Then once the meeting started, Hunt County Judge Bobby Stovall administered the oath of office to newly elected council member Larry Davis for Place 4, as well as swearing in Philip Spencer for another term representing Place 3. Now, council also received a presentation from GrantWorks during this time regarding requirements tied to the Texas Community Development Block Grant Program. This presentation is required under Section 3 of the Federal Housing and Urban Development Act and focuses on making sure that any grant-funded projects create opportunities for local workers and businesses whenever possible. Next up, Greenville Fire Department talked about being part of the Firehouse Subs Public Safety Foundation grant program. They were awarded a little over $10,000 from this grant program, and it's going to go towards some of their communications equipment, like radios and dispatch equipment and things like this. So basically, anytime you go to Firehouse Subs, by the way, and choose to donate to Greenville Fire, those funds can come right back into our department. So it's a pretty cool partnership there. Mayor Ransom also read a proclamation regarding National Public Works Week. It runs through May 17th through the 23rd. Now, this year's theme is Rooted in Service, Powered by Community, and it recognizes all the work that our public works crews do behind the scenes every day, from streets and drainage to water, wastewater, and other infrastructure that keeps the city running. So thank you to our Public Works Department. Now, moving into the action items, Council approved awarding a contract to A&D Paving for the Downtown Revitalization Program funded through a Texas Community Development Block Grant. Now, the project total is just under $279,000, and it helps move forward improvements in the downtown area, including reconstruction of some of our sidewalks. The next item was postponed to a later meeting to give the council a chance to review it and make any necessary changes, but it related to taser equipment and training for said equipment for our police department. But again, it was postponed for later consideration. Next up, the city voted to appoint Councilmember TJ Goss to be the mayor pro tem for this next term. Now, Councilman Goss has been the mayor pro tem, and this is just extending that through this next term. Now, once again, the downtown plan as a whole was discussed during this meeting, but ultimately was postponed again by the council. Now, the plan will now go back to the planning committee to make some changes, and then it will be brought back to the meeting at a later date. This next item needs to bring some explanation along with it. So about a month ago, the council approved awarding a contract to Earthworks Services for mowing the city-owned cemeteries here in town. However, at this week's meeting, the council voted to rescind that award and start the bidding process over again. Now, it's important to know that this has nothing to do with Earthworks Services, but it has everything to do with the bidding process itself. The process for accepting bids is very specific and has to be in order to maintain transparency. There were some questions raised about this specific bid process, and instead of moving forward regardless of those questions, the council felt that it was very important to maintain that transparency. So they started the process over again. This next item also needs some explanation because there's been some questions and misunderstandings about it. Now, the council approved change order number 21 for the Sports Park and Reese Davis projects in the amount of about $368,000. Most of this was tied to enhancements to the skate park area, along with some mechanical, landscaping, and layout adjustments throughout the project. Now, the questions that have been raised are focused on the fact that this change order now sends the project over $60 million, which is over the original proposal amount. However, that does not mean that we are now over budget for this project. The original bond package for the project was $65 million, but the city also had several million already earmarked for the project before the bond was passed. By the way, those earmarked funds were from grants, interest, and parkland fees, not taxpayer dollars. So the entire project budget is actually just over $70 million. So we are still well within that budget. Now, these change orders are incredibly normal and expected for large-scale projects like this. We are on track to complete this project within the budget, so that's a good sign. The next item was another one that was postponed. It relates to hangar lease agreements at Majors Field Airport. Postponing items is normal, by the way, especially if it's the first time a council has been presented something that involves contracts. They need time to review that before making any decision. And finally, the last resolution was passed and was basically a resolution of support for an application for low-income housing tax credits related to a proposed housing development called 5711 Nautilus on Industrial Drive. Now, there's a development going in on Industrial Drive that is requesting those low-income housing tax credits, and in order to get those, the City Council basically has to put on record that they support that request, and then their application can be sent off. Now, in a time dedicated for City Council members to request agenda items for future meetings, Councilman Ramon Rodriguez actually requested that city staff start looking into what it would take to put artificial turf on the city's baseball, softball, and soccer fields. Now, this rain this season has caused a lot of postponed and canceled games, and the council is actually looking to keep that from happening in the future. So staff will begin that research process soon. And that's your quick recap of this week's City Council meeting. If you'd like to view the agenda and any supporting documents, you can always do so at greenvilletx.gov. And remember, I'm not the maker, I'm just the messenger. So if you've got any comments or concerns, come see us at the next City Council meeting at City Hall at 6 p.m. on the 26th. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you in a few weeks.